site of the ISU Four Continents Figure Skating Championships. It has been quite a night. Coming up, though, the dance, and this is how it looks after the original dance. Leading the way, Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz, and then Chantal Lefebvre and Michelle Brunet. They made a nice move during their OD. Naomi Lang and Peter Chernyshев of the U.S. are in third place. And talk about a move, Megan Wing and Aaron Lowe also made a nice jump into fourth place. Now, with the call to the dance, let's join Debbie Wilkes and Barb Underhill.
Inside the Metro Center, things are a-hummin'. We just finished doing the wave as the skaters were warming up. First to skate out of the warm-up, the U.S. champions, Naomi Lang and Peter Chernyshев. Currently in third. And battling it out with Chantal Lefebvre, Michelle Brunet. They were second after both compulsory dances, split with Michelle and Brunet. And then in the OD, they had some difficulties, stumbling. And Chantal and Michelle went ahead. They opened with the required step sequence, circular. Nice and tight and neat. completing the 4-minute free dance.
Well, if they looked tight in the original dance, this was anything but. They really went for this and skated a very, very strong dance.
Chernishev, their presentation was very lively, the choreography complex.
I thought it was very difficult. They were constantly moving and turning and twisting.
And weaving.
Yes, and they did it extremely well. Some of the lifts, I think, could have been a little bit more creative. That's an area where Chantal and Michelle, I think, are maybe in favor, but this was a very strong and difficult dance. Certainly a team that is on the rise, newly crowned as the U.S. dance champions, and a lot of potential here.
They've only been together since 1997. They train out of the Detroit Skating Club. Peter born in St. Petersburg, Russia.
They both have extensive ballet training, which really shows here on the ice. And I think as they get to know one another and are together for a longer time, they're going to flourish.
Yeah. Naomi was first inspired to take up skating when she was 8, and she went and saw Ice Capades. Sadly, an institution that no longer exists in the skating world. I think a lot of us got...
I think many were inspired by the Smurfs.
I was before the Smurfs were.
Well, I skated with the Smurfs.
Marks for Naomi Lang and Peter Chernishev for technical merit.
Here are the marks for technical merit. 5 4s and 5 5s.
5 4, 5 5, 5 5. Marks for presentation.
And presentation.
These are going to be tough to
5
beat.
5,
Up to 5.7 for Naomi Lang and Peter Chernishev.
5 5, 5 7, 5 5.
Holding first place for the moment.
Megan Wing and Aaron Lowe.
And the place comes alive again. The Canadian flags all over for our Canadian national bronze medalists, Megan Wing and Aaron Lowe.
And they're skating to Warm Air by Vanessa May. great feeling. This crowd is responding. They have had a hard week. Megan was struck with the flu, but they have handled themselves like such pros, have given it 100% every step of the way, and this is great that they're getting this recognition.
Here for Megan Wing and Erin Lowe.
They pulled out all the stops this year, took their skating to a whole new level. We're hoping to make it to the world team. Unfortunately, they were third at Canadians, which meant that they wouldn't go to the Worlds, but it was in a year when the whole level of skating, ice dancing in Canada, rose. The future for ice dancing in Canada has never looked better. And I think Shaylin, we can thank Shaylin and Victor for that. They have been such great role models.
And Shaylin and Vic next to skate.
They skated with such ease. Everything just flowed there tonight.
Marks for Megan Wing and Erin Lowe.
And they're still doing the wave.
5-2, 5-3, 5-3, 5-3, 5-3, 5-1, 5-1. Marks for presentation.
Presentation marks
5-4,
come up.
5-5,
And with two
5-4,
skaters, two
5-4,
teams left to skate, Wing and
5-4,
Lowe are
5-3,
in second.
5-2. Thank you.
Shaylin and Victor, we've been very concerned about the status of Shay's knee
Our
injury.
next competitors represent Canada, Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kraus.
Here they are. And during warm-up, Shay is favoring that knee.
She says the most difficult things to do are the low moves, and that has really hampered them in their preparation.
Like the new outfit.
Love them. Already I see a big difference with this routine over Canadians. They're not as cautious. They've got more speed. Little problem there with that move.
Born and Kratz do it again.
They have not taken the easy road with this free dance. This is a huge risk because it is so difficult. There isn't a free dance in my mind in the world that is this difficult. And when it's this difficult, it's very unforgiving.
It's difficult and different. Let's see what the judges think for Born and Kratz. For Born and Kratz, the whole team, including Coach Natalia Dubova, have really tried to think of everything, how to improve it.
They've always gone in a new direction, and this is definitely a new direction for ice dancing.
Hello, everybody in Lake
There's
Placid.
nothing like this that has ever been done, and they should get credit for always pushing the limits.
Neat thing about this free dance, too, I think, Barb, is that it features both partners. There isn't one partner just as a prop and the other doing all the tricks. Very equal.
There were a few areas that were a little bit sloppy. One right there, her leg is supposed to stay up, but they saved it.
And I thought, due to training problems, I thought that the end started to die a bit.
Yeah. But overall, I felt the energy was better than Canadians. Maybe it was partly the energy in the building. I'm sure they want to take this crowd with them to the World Championships. And I thought the expression was better. The more comfortable you get with a free dance, the more you can express it. But clearly, they need to put a little bit more work into it.
Marks
and I
for
think it's
Shailene
just
Bourne
mild.
and
It's
Victor
just doing
Kratz
it over
for
and over and
technical
over
merit.
to get it
5-8,
perfectly in sync.
5-8, 5-6, 5-6, 5-7, 5-8, 5-7.
European judges down at
Marks for presentation.
However, it comes up for presentation, and Born and Kratz are still the leaders.
5-9, 5-9, 5-8, 5-8, 5-8, 5-9,
Great marks.
5-8. Thank you.
On the way
This
to
is a great setup for Worlds.
Our next competitors represent Canada, Chantal Lefebvre et Michel Brunet.
Our next team from Canada, Chantal Lefebvre and Michel Brunet in second after the original dance. A great story here.
Well, if they can stay in second ahead of the Americans, it's going to give them a real boost going to the Worlds. Interesting that both teams are doing tangos. trademark Michelle Brunet smile. They're looking a little disappointing. I thought it was a great skate. I'm kind of confused with their reaction here.
I did too. I agree with
I
you.
thought they had great speed and wonderful, wonderful expression. It's the best character piece that they've ever done. Some great chemistry that we haven't seen from them before.
Chantal Lefebvre and Michelle Brunet. No indication from Michelle and Chantal what they were disappointed in.
But they're clearly really down about this performance. I think speed-wise, they had better speed than the Americans. They had more interesting and intricate lifts, and they had better expression. I think the Americans maybe had more difficulty in terms of steps. It's a little more intricate. But I'm not quite sure why they are so disappointed. I thought it was right up there with their performance from the Canadian Championships, where they had the battle of their life there, finishing second. So clearly this is the year they want to make a jump in the world.
Apparently, according to news coming up from backstage, he had to put her down in a lift somewhere. Well, man, they sure covered it up.
They
It was
did.
there.
This vehicle just works so well for them. They play it out perfectly.
Salut tout le monde. Merci.
Marks for Chantal Lefebvre et Michelle Brunet for technical merit. 5-5, 5-5, 5-3, 5-4.
These are good technical marks.
5-5, 5-3.
Presentation
Marks for presentation.
is great.
And they remain ahead of Lang and Chernyshев. Lefebvre and Brunet in second.
5-4. Thank you. In first place, Shailene Bourne, Victor Kratz, Canada. In second place, Chantal Lefebvre, Michelle Brunet, Canada. In third place, Naomi Lang, Peter Chernyshев, United States of America. In fourth place, Megan Wing, Erin Lowe, Canada. In fifth place,
It is a wonderful night for Canada in dance. We're taking the top spot on the podium, the gold medal for Shailene Bourne and Victor Kratz, and silver for Chantal Lefebvre and Michelle Brunet. Megan Wing and Erin Lowe from Canada are fourth. Rob Falls with Chantal and Michelle.
I don't know, maybe you two want to move to Halifax because you qualified for the Olympics in this city. It's been a lucky city for you.
Yeah, actually, it's been 2 years to skate here, and it's been really great. We always have some good position and a great skate, too, so.
Now, you look very serious sitting right in these positions waiting for your marks. Were you not sure?
Well, we skated this free dance much better. To the audience, it seemed it was all right, but what you feel and what you see sometimes is totally different. We didn't feel, as great, but hey, we pulled it out, and I'm still choking, so.
Well, let's take a look at your reaction as you waited for the marks. What were you thinking right here?
Well, you never know, and Chantal looked down, and I didn't. And I mean, it's just, I'm ecstatic. I mean, it's fun.
You have established something, too, with these European judges, haven't you?
Yeah, actually, with the Europeans come here, like that will help a lot for the world this year. So we hope to be near the top 10 this year.
And a little bit of cash to help training.
Oh, I mean, that will help. I mean, I see my mom in the stands there, and I mean, she's going to be happy, like, you know. So the support was coming from them. So, I mean, I don't know what to say.
On to the Worlds.
We'll be back to speak with the champions and to wrap up when we return. Long list of championships. They talk with Rob Falls.
My first question is, how taxing is that program on your knee?
It's very taxing on the knee. There's a few moves we had to leave out in training, and I did it for the first time today, so it was a little more painful, but I'm glad we went through it all.
What do you learn from something like this, Vic, getting a chance to show this program off again before the Worlds?
Well, I think definitely mileage, but most importantly, you know, you've got like Hungarian judges, Polish judges, so you got some of the European panel sitting there. So I think that's really of an advantage for us because then they have seen us prior to go to Worlds and in Helsinki.
What do you plan to do in the next couple of weeks?
Just train hard. I think take probably a little rest, try to get the knee a little bit better, and then just train as hard as we can for the Worlds because that's our main goal.
Can you afford much rest before the Worlds, or do you really have to go train?
We can't take a huge rest, obviously. If I could, I would take a break, but we can't. Now's not the time when our main goal is Worlds. So we could maybe couple days, maybe 4 days, but then we got to get back on the ice again.
Congratulations, you two.
Thank you very much.
Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz will make an official announcement on whether or not they're going to St. Petersburg shortly. But a 1-2 punch for Canada in the free dance. Megan Wing and Aaron Lowe very solid in 4th place. So it was as expected. We thought we'd see Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz. The injury thing is a bit of a question, but a great opportunity for our number 2 team in Canada, too.
You know what I thought was best about this event? It was judged like a real event. There is hope for ice dance judging.
I would agree, and I think that's something the crowd has been talking a lot about, but most importantly, the skaters know. And that's the good thing.
All right, let us talk about Elvis Stojko. 3rd here in Halifax. Has the rest of the world caught up to Elvis? Is this a concern as he get ready for Helsinki?
It's a huge concern, but I think we have to look at this competition for him as a positive step because he is, as he said, 1 notch up from the Canadian Championships. But I think we all have to be prepared for Worlds because for him to medal at Worlds would be a huge feat, and that's just the way that the world has risen this season.
And there are so many men who are now pushing Elvis.
Absolutely, and not just like some of the competition here at 4 Continents. We're looking at all of the European men as well, that fabulous Russian team. He's got his work cut out for him, no question.
Well, then it just goes into a system now where